I would have been gone. I would have screamed like a bitch. I ain't gonna lie.
So official when I'm out here in these streets. So official. It ain't no cap if I don't fuck with you, I tell you. I'm so official when I'm hopping on these beats. I'm speaking facts and only tell you what I know. Okay. I'm so official, got me looking like a panda. Black and white, I got a bitch for every stripe. I'm so official, I got prejudice, I know. They all dead, but try to take, I'm trained to go.
So official when I talk, so official when I walk. You not official when it come to your name, so play your part. In the hood with no heart, and you ain't even got no spot. I come around, Lord, nigga.
What's going on? You already know it's your boy, Little T. Back and for the fact you already know how yeah, man. Hey, man. Check it out. So, we got that boy Tom Macdonald, man. Tom Macdonald, he's doing some shit called Scary Stories. I don't know what it is, but a subscriber wanted me to check it out. All I know is it's 25 minutes long. So it ain't no music video. So, guess you doing some story time. I didn't even know this nigga did story times. But yeah, let's check it out. See we rocking with.
Two ghost stories with yours truly, Tom Macdonald. We're gonna have to take a trip in the way back machine for this one, because this happened a long time ago. The year is 2012. Thankfully, the Mayan calendar was wrong, and the much publicized end of the world didn't come. But it still got weird. Still got really weird. This all started with a music video shoot in the small
I fuck with that
Canadian
shirt, that hangover shit.
abandoned Canadian town of Tranquil. But
Hold
it
up,
wasn't
I'm hot.
until after this whole ordeal, it wasn't until after
These lights
everything
got
that
me
I'm
hot,
about
sorry.
to tell you, it wasn't until after all of that that we found out that Tranquil is actually one of the most haunted places in North America.
The fuck is
Let's start from the
Tranquil?
beginning. So there was three of us. There was myself, the music video director, and my producer at the time, Olivier. We all piled into a vehicle on a Friday afternoon and started the long drive
Sorry, get hand
to
sanitizer.
a long-forgotten corner of the Canadian Pacific Northwest. We were unknowingly embarking on what would turn out to be one of the most terrifying experiences of all of our lives. Aside from a traffic jam on the highway, it was a rather long and uneventful drive. As we drew closer and closer to Tranquil, things gradually became more and more desolate. The cars that we were sharing the highway with gradually disappeared. The streetlights gave way to pine trees, and the tiny communities that just dot the edges of the asphalt were just eventually swallowed up by the suffocating Canadian wilderness. Paved roads turned to gravel, and the gravel roads turned to dirt roads, and the vast forest around us just seemed
I want
to
that shirt so
entirely
bad.
close in. And when the paved roads turned to gravel roads, and the gravel roads turned to dirt roads, that's when we reached the Iron Gates.
See?
Our
That's
final
that Jason
destination,
shit.
Tranquil, had been cut off from the rest of the world for
That's that deepest
quite
creepest
some
Michael
time.
Myers shit. I
Essentially-
don't play around like that. I mean, if I'm on a dirt road, I better have me a fucking a gun with me. Fuck is you talking? I'm not going on no dirt road with ass out.
Tranquil was home to Canadians who had tuberculosis, and at the time, tuberculosis was incurable and highly infectious. Sound familiar? They pretty much shipped everyone in Canada who had tuberculosis. They shipped all of those people to Tranquil, this tiny town in the middle of nowhere, and they shipped them there to,
Die?
well, die, essentially.
Damn.
Anyway, we didn't know any of that. All we knew was we had to shoot a music video, and this was the perfect place to do it, and we were going to get it done. So there we were in the middle of nowhere. We pulled the car over to the side of the dirt road. We unpacked everything we needed, lights and cameras and bags and outfits and all that stuff. And we cut into the trees to get around the iron gate that was blocking the road, and we were on our way. So after a short hike through the trees, we came up over the top of a hill, and there it was.
What?
Just silent and still and forgotten. There was schools and houses and convenience stores and hospitals and libraries and paint chips just peeling off the outside of the exterior.
That's what that nigga
just flapping.
what's
in
that
the wind.
nigga name?
Just seemed
Leatherface
like they were
said.
just clinging to a time a little less lonely. We had arrived.
That's Leatherface, Dami. You better get the fuck out of
So we made our
there.
way down the hill, and we crossed the train tracks that encircled the town, and there was no signs of life. And when I say no signs of life, I mean nothing. No birds, no coyotes, no bugs, no
bugs. Damn.
Nothing
Not an ant.
like what you would expect of a town
Right.
encapsulated in a massive forest in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
So we made our way towards the 3 dilapidated houses. They were just on the outskirts of town, and they were identical. And they sat all in a row. Same paint, same windows, same doors, same front steps. Each house as perfectly the same as the next. Anyway, as we got closer, you could practically hear these houses moaning from...
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nigga say he heard the houses moaning. I ain't know them bitches can moan.
years of being neglected and years without maintenance. It almost felt and sounded like something was stirring around inside them, and to be completely honest, I wasn't entirely sure I wanted to find out what that something was.
Get the fuck out of there,
But it
T-Mac.
turns out that I didn't have a choice. While I was standing there just sort of lost in thought and just gripped by this almost tangible apprehension about the situation at hand, something emerged from the middle house. 2 teenage kids, and we stopped dead in our tracks.
Shoot them little
So it was
niggas.
this boy and this girl, and they sort of like bounced toward us across this like sun-bleached...
Fuck you mean bounce? You gotta shoot them. You better pop these little ass kids. He said these 2 kids came out of an empty ass house bouncing. What the fuck?
pavement, and their demeanor was weird. So they got close enough to us, and I said to the boy, I said, "What are you guys doing here?"
Right, the fuck?
And like I said, their demeanor was strange. Well, maybe strange isn't the right word. Their demeanor just did not fit the situation.
Yeah,
They were
okay.
just like smiling and happy, and they seemed like they
Dang,
were
well, that
excited
smile
to see
horror
us.
movie.
To
Alright,
me,
it's like 7 horror movies in this fucking story, yo. You gotta get the fuck out of here. We started with the dirt road, nigga. That's Jeepers Creepers. We started, then we went to the little houses and shit. That's any fucking horror movie. Now you got the 2 little ass kids. That's what's some little kids with the 2 twins, yo, that be standing in the hallway. That movie. Now these niggas Smile. They just got a movie that came out called Smile. You gotta get the fuck out, T-Mac. Come on, bro.
that didn't fit the vibe. So the boy spoke first, and he said, "We're just hanging out, just checking out the abandoned town, and we're filming it with this camcorder." And I was like, "Cool.
You
well,
teenagers.
did you see anything weird?" And he said, "Nope, not yet."
Not yet.
And then the
Fucking
girl
ain't yet.
just like interjected, and she was like, "Oh, be careful in the houses."
Wait.
A lot of
You just say you ain't see shit. Wait, what the fuck? Hold up, bro. Let me lock in.
the floors are rotting, and if you go upstairs, you could fall through, and it's really friggin' dangerous. I don't really remember much else about that conversation. It was maybe like 3 minutes long, and they darted off in the other direction, and we just continued on our way.
Okay.
So we went into the house that our new friends just emerged
I mean, I thought
from,
that was my
and
house for a second.
The girl
I was
wasn't
afraid,
lying.
Brian.
There was a massive hole in the ceiling of the living room where it looked like something on the top floor had fallen through and landed in a giant heap of rubble just sitting on the floor in the living room.
Damn.
It was trippy. So the more we explored, the weirder it got. Like inside the school, there's 3 inches of dust on the desks, and the day's lessons were still scribbled on the chalkboard, and there was pencils and erasers just littered about all the workstations. And if you picked anything up, you leave a perfect impression of whatever you picked up on the surface that you picked it up off of. Like,
Damn.
this stuff literally hadn't been touched
In years. Yeah.
After roaming through like half a dozen buildings, we had finally made our decision where we were going to start shooting this music video, and we decided on, of course, the Sanatorium. So we were walking down the main street
What's the
on our way
wait.
back to the hot...
Wait. I don't care if y'all think I'm slow. I don't know what a sanatorium is. What's a sanatorium? Hold up. I don't know how to spell it either. Sanatorium. Oh. Okay.
Hospital.
It's hospital.
When I noticed something
Okay.
peculiar.
Why ain't just say hospital?
Peculiar? When
Got me
noticed
looking up
something
words and shit
dumb.
on
There was
YouTube.
this small white brick building that was just sort of jetting out of the dirt right on the edge of town. And we had a long day of shooting ahead of us, but Tranquil just felt like it was some sort of portal to like an alternate dimension, and we were just so captured by the mystery of this town that like work came second, and we just wanted to explore. So we took off towards that white building. So this building was essentially just like a brick box. It was maybe like 10 feet tall by 20 feet long and 20 feet wide.
Excuse
and
me.
it had one of those big metal doors on it. It was like a like something that you'd see on a government building. It was that light green color, kind of like sun bleached by the sun. It was missing its doorknobs. I walked over, no windows on this thing, can't see inside. So I walk over to this big green door, and I put my hand inside where the doorknob's supposed to be, and I jerked the door open. So it was dark, and it was not the type of dark that you're familiar with. This wasn't like 1 a.m. in my house
Nah,
dark.
it's probably pitch
this
black.
was like pitch black.
Not going in that
We're here to
bitch.
shoot a music video, right?
No, fuck no.
So we got lights.
Fuck that video. Oh, okay. You got lights. But still, fuck no, I'm not going in that bitch. You got me fucked up. No, I'm not going in there. I don't give a fuck. T-Mac, you tripping, bro. we got houses in Baltimore you can go shoot in. You don't gotta go up and down to the town.
I grabbed one of the lights, and I turned that motherfucker on.
I
So when I
bet you
turned the light
did.
on,
This
there's
one,
nothing
see?
in this.
What I say, horror movies. That's some I Am Legend shit.
There's no windows. There's no doors. There's nothing on the walls. There's not even flooring. It's just plain concrete. It's as plain and white on the inside as it was on the outside, with the exception of one thing. A staircase going down. I'd be lying if I said we weren't scared, because we were freaked the out, man. But here's the thing about
Freaked the
three dudes
fuck out,
hanging
man.
is none of these dudes is going to
That's the whitest I ever heard T-Mac. He said we were freaked the fuck out, man.
admit to any of the other dudes that they're scared, because that's not what dudes do. So we're all terrified.
True.
But nobody's going to admit that they're terrified to
Shit,
anybody else.
not me.
So in the greatest display.
Shit, I'm like, y'all niggas know I'm gone. I'm
masterfully
scared.
fabricated
I'll let
machismo
niggas know.
In the history of mankind, we go down the stairs. We are so deep in denial and so unwilling to admit that we're afraid in front of another man that we
Shit.
forced ourselves to go down
I would've let them niggas know I'm not going
a
down
set
that
of
bitch.
stairs into a black hole inside an abandoned town in the middle of f***ing nowhere.
Right. That's why I'm not going
You know
down
what?
that bitch.
I could barely comprehend what was at the bottom of those stairs.
What was that?
Medical equipment. Everywhere.
Oh shit.
X-ray machines and surgery tables and scalpels and wheelchairs and rolling beds. Just everywhere. All
Shit.
covered in dust. Untouched for years. So there's 3 walls down here. And there's a doorway on each wall. No door, just a doorway. So I shine the light through the first doorway. Long concrete hall.
Right.
I shine the light through the second doorway. Long concrete hall. And then
Hell
I shine the light
no.
through the third doorway. You guessed it.
Long concrete wall.
Long f***ing concrete hall. Still neglecting the sheer terror that's permeating every cell in our bodies. We somehow choose a doorway, walk through it, and start our journey into the abyss. And what we found were just more concrete hallways and more wheelchairs and more rolling beds and more hallways and more doorways and more
Y'all the West is gonna
concrete
get
halls. This
lost.
was a labyrinth of underground concrete halls. And we decided it was a cool place to shoot a scene for a music video, so we started shooting a music video. I'm not even exaggerating. We probably had that camera turned on for 30 seconds before we had to turn it off because started getting weird. I
Yeah.
just remember saying, cut the camera. Did you guys hear that? And we all just stood there, just quiet and motionless in the 10-foot section of hallway that our lights would illuminate. And I am not kidding you. Somewhere out there, beyond where our lights could reach, footsteps.
Fuck is you talking about? I'm gone.
I remember my producer, Olivier, sort of laughing, like, no way. No.
Bitch, you better come on.
We just stood there.
You laughing and shit.
Frozen with fear. We just stood there and we just listened. And we heard voices. Voices somewhere way out there in that maze of concrete hallways, just echoing through everywhere. And I just said, yo, pack up the camera, let's get the out of here.
Yeah.
Now.
Now,
As
fuck.
we're packing up to leave, I noticed that just
Fuck
out of
packing
our
up.
lights' reach, I see a door. And it's a big-ass metal one. So I squeeze past Olivier, and I walk over to the door. It's this giant steel door, and it's just flush with the concrete inside this hallway. And I just push it open. It's the basement of a house. I just said, yo, shine that light over here. And there's another big metal door 6 feet away. And I walk up to it, and I push it open. Basement of a house. And then another door, and I push that open, and it's a basement of a house. And as we walk out of this labyrinth of concrete hallways, more doors, more basements of more houses. So it was at this point that I realized that this wasn't a regular town. There was something going on here. Something that required every house in town to be accessible by these underground tunnels that all led to a massive underground medical lab. Needless to say, we needed to shoot this music video and get the hell out of there.
Fuck the music video.
By the time we found our way out of these underground tunnels and we reached the surface of Tranquil once again, it had gotten dark. And you know what's creepier than an abandoned town in the middle of nowhere with an underground mad scientist lab?
A nigga in there.
A creepy-ass abandoned town in the middle of nowhere with an underground mad scientist lab in the dark, son. That being said,
The camera cut off?
The next couple hours went by rather smoothly, and we got some cool shots and some cool places. We pretty much got everything we needed and had wrapped up the music video. But this is where the really haunted starts. We finish the shoot,
Don't tell me the camera died.
hike up the hill, sneak through the trees, go around the iron gate, and get back to the
Nigga
car.
said sneak through the
We've escaped
trees.
Tranquil. Or so we thought. We load everything into the trunk of the car, and the director says, "Oh, I'm missing one of my lights.
Man, fuck
I'm
you.
missing a light."
Man, fuck your life. I don't give a fuck how you go get that shit yourself there, Dobby. I'm not going back there for no fucking light. If my camera was down, if my bitch was down there, I mean, if my female friend was down there, I ain't going back for her either. You heard me?
And I'm like, so what?
Right.
Dude?
Fuck that light.
That light. Let's get the out of here. And the director goes, "Oh, well, it was a $1,200 light." And I said, I don't give a I'm not going back.
No bullshit.
Into the creepy abandoned town in the middle of nowhere with the underground.
Don't give a fuck. That bitch was a millie.
I'm not going back. And Olivier says, I'm with Tom. I'm not going back either.
Facts.
And the director says, somebody has to go back because I need that light.
You,
so
nigga, fuck.
Let's all play rock, paper, scissors for it. And
rock, paper, scissors, you, nigga. Fuck, I'm not going down there.
and the loser goes back into the town to get the light. Look, I never liked fucking rock, paper, scissors. I hate that. When there's something that somebody has to do and it's an undesirable task, everybody's always like, let's play rock, paper, scissors. I hate rock, paper, scissors. It's an impossible game to win. I always lose. We agree we'll play rock, paper, scissors.
Dude.
Guess what?
You lost.
I lose. Of course, I lose. But I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
Fuck are you
I'm
talking
acting
about?
like a child.
Yeah, T-Mac.
Olivier has always been the more mature of our sort of duo. So he stands up and he's just sick of listening to us complain. And he goes, you know what? I will go back. I'll go back and get the light. Where is it? And the director says, it's in the sanatorium. Of course it's in the sanatorium. Where else would it be? Where else would the lost light be than the most haunted possible place in this abandoned town? It wouldn't
Right.
make any sense for it to be anywhere else.
Right.
Olivier goes, okay, cool, I'll go get the light. And with that, Olivier just turns and walks into the darkness. I turn to the director and I'm just like, dude, give me a flashlight. You gotta understand,
That's his
Olivier
man.
isn't just my producer at this point.
Yeah, that's his man's.
He's my best friend.
Right, okay. Alright, understandable. If that's your best friend, you feel me? That's your brother. You know, fuck it, I'm had to go, bro. Fuck it. You feel
And
me?
I cannot, in good conscience,
Right.
let my best friend wander back into an abandoned
By
town
himself.
to get somebody else's light by himself. I
Right.
just can't do it. So I run to catch up with him. So I reach him and I'm like, I got us a flashlight. And Olivier turns and looks at me and he doesn't say anything. He just smiles, like a full teeth grin, like one of those smiles that somebody makes
Right.
when they're terrified or when they're fully aware that they're making a very poor decision and they're about to do something really through the forest, around the fence, up the hill, down into the valley. We are back in Tranquil. It's pitch black now, and I'm carrying this little rinky-dinky ass flashlight, and we're just navigating through the town, and we're on the way back to the sanatorium. I ask Olivier, where do you think, do you have any idea where we put this light? Olivier says, yeah, it's in the big main room. I saw him put it down there. I just don't f***ing like him, so I was just gonna let him leave it there and hope that nobody noticed, and we'd just drive home, and we'd have a good chuckle about this later on. So somehow I managed to let out a muffled laugh because it's funny, but at the same time,
It can't make the backfire.
it's the reason why I'm
Real
standing
shit.
in an abandoned town
Again.
in the middle of nowhere with a creepy ass mad scientist underground lab at like 2 in the morning. We go up the
2?
old wooden stairs and push this giant creaky ass door open and step inside the sanatorium, and we're at the end of this long hallway. And at the end of that long hallway,
no, that better not be the
there's a
real
giant,
picture.
big, massive open room, and that's where the light is. So we start walking down this hallway, and there's doorways lining this hallway, and they're all the padded rooms that crazy people would hang out in. We get into the big main room, and as we enter this big main room, I shine the flashlight up on the wall, and just like this perfect, massive piece of art up on the wall, it is painted, "Please burn me down." Olivier says, oh, there's the light. Walks over, picks the light up.
Fuck the light, we gotta
now
go.
that we have this all-important light in our possession, we turn and start walking back down that hallway towards the main door. Now, what happens next is probably the most horrendous thing that I've ever witnessed in my life, and I'm sure Olivier would say the same thing.
Oh, shit.
In fact,
What?
I might actually call him and get his account for this video, but what happens
What?
next is the single most horrendous thing that I've ever witnessed in my life.
What?
So like I said, the hallway is lined with doors on both sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like holding cells, or they're like padded rooms, or something. You know the ones? Yeah, you know the ones.
Yeah, them little
Now,
crazy
I'm
ass
not
when they be like
exactly
this.
sure how to explain this. You know that feeling you get when somebody is watching you?
Yeah.
Well, you know when you see something out of the corner of your eye,
Hell
and you
yeah.
quickly turn your head and there's
Yup.
nothing there? Or you feel the hair
Somebody-
raise up on the
yeah.
back of your head,
Mhm,
like
yeah.
someone's standing behind you, but by the time you spin around to face it, it's gone? Okay, that happened to both of us at the exact same time. Except something was watching us. And that thing in the corner of your eye that you don't expect to see when you look, we saw it.
Oh, shit.
And that thing that you feel behind you when the hair raises up on your neck and you spin around, and when you spin around it's gone, it was there when we spun around.
Who
In
was it?
perfect synchronization, all this happened.
What?
We turn and shine the flashlight into the padded room next to us, and there it is. A shadow standing up from the floor. Not a shadow cast on the floor, a shadow standing up off the floor. It
Got me.
looked
I would have been. I would have been gone. I would have screamed like a bitch. I ain't gonna lie.
just like
I
it
would have been
was,
crying, Dobby.
except it wasn't a person. It was featureless and almost transparent.
I would have been crying,
massive
shitting,
and
pissing,
daunting
crying,
and
running.
rigidly standing there with its arms by its sides. You can't see from where you're at right now, but I have goosebumps all over me. And at the same time, we just started to run. And we were so scared, and it was so dark. We were just like two frantic animals running from a predator. It was like some sort of primal survival instinct had taken over, and we were just absolutely frantic, and we were falling over each other and tripping over rubble and tripping over pieces of fallen wall and ladders and all of this stuff that we can't see in the dark. And somehow we made it to the front door. We kicked that motherfucker open and ran out into the middle of the street.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. When I get back into that producer, I'm plucking the shit out yo for making me go back. I'm really. Did you guys get the light? Wow, fuck.
We weren't even thinking. We were just moving.
Cracking his ass as soon as I seen him.
We could, as far away from whatever the hell that thing was, as far away as we could get, as fast as we could get there. We were going. And after running for what seemed like a marathon, we just finally stopped and we almost collapsed on the ground and we're just spinning our heads like a swivel from side to side, just trying to orient ourselves and gain some sort of information about where we had ran to. And I'm gasping for breath and looking around, and I'd say to Olivier, "Where are we?" And Olivier says, I don't know. And I picked a flashlight up and I flash it around and I'm looking. And that's when I have another terrifying realization, and I say out loud,
"What?
Dude, we're lost." And I mean, we're so scared, and it's so dark, and this town is so big that we've completely lost ourselves in what's transpired here. Now, I remember Olivier gasping, "I think the car's that way." You know, and he just kind of points out with one hand, just totally exhausted. So I turn the flashlight in the direction that he's pointing, and I shit you not, I take one step, and this flashlight flickers twice and dies. We're lost. We have no flashlight, and there's that thing in the sanatorium. I honestly don't remember the next 30 minutes, and I don't remember the next 30 minutes because we were just running on pure adrenaline and racked with fear, but we found our way out. And this time when we crossed those train tracks and went up that hill, before going into that forest, we turned around and we looked down on Tranquil one last time. And guess what?
What?
The lights in the sanatorium were on. So we barreled through the...
I'm not going down that ditch, man. Oh shit!
Trees and around
I'm scared just listening to it.
Car, and I remember Olivier opening up the car door, and he's leaning the front seat forward, and he's scrambling to try and get into the back seat of the car. And I had just had enough. I remember putting my foot on his ass and just shoving him into the back of the car, standing the seat up, jumped in, slammed the door, and I just said, "Drive." The director started, "Oh, what happened?" And I said, "Shut the
fuck right
and drive."
Before we smack the shit out you.
We made it back home, mostly unscathed and in one piece. But you know what the craziest part of this whole thing was? You remember those kids I mentioned at the beginning of the story?
It was them?
Well, when I got home, I started Googling Tranquil. And I started researching that abandoned town. And that's when I found out that Tranquil was an abandoned town where people with tuberculosis would go and live out their final days.
Right.
And that's when I found out it was the most haunted place in North America. And that's also when I found out that those underground tunnels were used to remove the dead bodies from their houses without having to wheel corpses through the streets of the town and scare the shit out of all the children and everybody else living there. But the scariest thing I found out, the scariest thing that I found out,
what about them kids?
Was that 10 years prior to our experience in Tranquil, 2 kids went out there ghost hunting. And they fell through the floor in one of the houses and died.
Oh shit!
A boy and a girl.
Oh shit, he got me scared. He got me scared as shit. He got me scared as shit, bro. I'm over this bitch sweating this shit. Oh shit, T-Mac. I don't like this T-Mac. He got me scared. Oh shit. Woo! Woo! Oh shit. That was good. That was good. That was some scary shit, but it was good. Woo! Hold up. Let me get my words right. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Ooh. Ooh. Baby girl, corny toy. I appreciate you sending this. I really do. But you scared the shit out of me. You scared the shit out of me. I ain't never been this scared of T-Mac in my life. Usually I be rocking out with a nigga like that. But nah, this nigga got me a little shook. I ain't even gonna lie. That was a story. I like it though. I want to hear another one. If you got more, please send more. And I like this shit. I like this shit, bro. Hey man, great suggestion that you request. I'm gonna put your shit up here. I got you. Look, boom. Hey, look, she 2 for 2 on here. I'm trying to tell you, she keeps sending them bangers in. But hey man, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know what you want to see down in the comments below. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Hope y'all enjoyed the vibe, man. Peace.